Hello, tonight's story is the story of Swoop, and it's a real-life true story. As firefighter Matt drove down the country road, something in his rear-view mirror caught his eye. He pulled over and he got out of his fire truck, and there on the side of the road huddled a baby bird. It was a little baby magpie, cold, hungry, and all alone. Firefighter Matt could see he was injured and too young to fly. "Don't worry, little one, I'll take care of you," Matt said as he scooped the chick up with his gloved hands. The baby bird survived the night, and the next day she gobbled up some breakfast of mushy cat biscuits that Matt gave her, and she seemed to be feeling quite safe in her new home. "You need a name," said Matt. "I'm going to call you Swoop." "Squawk, squawk," said Swoop. It sounded as if she was happy with her new name. But Firefighter Matt also had a cat, whose name was Mowgli, and Matt was a little worried about how the cat would take to Swoop. As for Swoop, well, she'd never seen a cat before, and she was very curious, and perhaps a little nervous. Matt introduced them, speaking to Mowgli in a firm voice. "Mowgli, this is Swoop. Swoop, this is Mowgli. Swoop's your little sister now, Mowgli. She's family." Mowgli looked at Swoop with curious eyes. He appeared happy to have a little sister, and Swoop looked pretty happy too. From that moment on, Swoop and Mowgli became inseparable. The pair would cuddle, and sometimes they would fall asleep together. Swoop followed Mowgli everywhere she went. Look, they've fallen asleep and they're both on their backs. And when Swoop finally got her flight feathers, she and Mowgli went on adventures together. One day they were wandering along the beach and they saw a beautiful kingfisher. Swoop began to wonder, was she a human like Dad Matt? Was she a cat like her sister, her brother Mowgli? Goodness, get it right, Nana. Or was she a bird like the toot in the trees? Or that kingfisher, maybe, that they'd seen. The next day, Swoop visited the kingfisher. It had feathers just like her, and it had a beak just like her, and it could fly just like her. "Am I like you?" said Swoop. "Well, you are a bird like me," said the kingfisher, "but you've got different feathers and you're bigger than me. Now, there's some magpies further down the road that look a lot like you. Why don't you go and ask them?" So off Swoop flew in search of all the birds that looked like her. Further down the road, she came across some neighbourhood kids, and they played with her for a little while, but she knew she was different from them. Swoop flew high in the sky, soaring over fields and past the lighthouse, and nowhere could she see the family of magpies she'd been told about. And then she was about to turn back when she spotted them, and they were just like her, with the same glossy black and white feathers. Surely they must be family, she thought, but she was too shy to go near them. That night, as Swoop snuggled down next to Mowgli on Matt's bed, she could hardly stop thinking about the family of magpies that she'd seen that day. And when she woke up in the morning, she knew that she had to go and introduce herself. Swoop flew down the road, across the fields and past the lighthouse until she reached the magpie family, and bravely she landed on a branch in the middle of them. The magpies were very welcoming, and Swoop felt at home with them. Could they be my real family, she thought. What do you think? Swoop thought about Matt and Mowgli and how much they cared for her in the little house by the sea, and she thought about how they had gone on adventures together just like family, but now she knew it. The magpies were her family too. Swoop was sad to think that she was leaving Matt and brother Mowgli, but she knew it was time to start her journey with her new family, and at that moment the family of magpies took off into the skies, and Swoop hesitated, and then she squawked, "Wait for me! I'm coming too!" And as Swoop flew over the house she'd grown up in, she felt sad but excited, but in her heart Swoop knew that she'd made the right choice. But sometimes, just sometimes, she still pays them a visit at her first home by the sea, with the pussycat Mowgli and Swoop. See, I told you it was for real. That's Matt, the fireman, and there's Swoop. But there's the pussycat, Mowgli, and Swoop. That would be pretty cool to have a magpie for a baby at your house, eh? I don't think Mum would like it. be another mouth that she had to feed, somebody else she had to clean up after. So I don't think it's going to happen. Night night. God bless.